Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast Under Your Bed. Hey! Happy Halloween! It's October, y'all!
Yay! I've been waiting all year for this!
We are stoked for spook season. Sitting across from me is your co-host, Taylor.
Hey!
I am your host, CJ, and today we are covering an a classic House on Haunted Hill from 1959. Got some Price coming at you.
Yeah!
Yeah, so we're excited. If you don't know this movie, it's a group of strangers are invited to stay the night in a haunted house by an eccentric millionaire, and chaos and haunting and spookiness ensues. It is mega ultra campy in all the best ways,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes, it is.
Scary, not scary, I don't know. It's up to y'all, but I mean, I think people are gonna love this movie because it's just fun, right?
Oh my god, it's so much fun. And honestly, if you are a Vincent Price fan, this to me is like the pinnacle of the Vincent Price experience. Obviously, he can do dramatic roles, he can do comedy roles, but to me, this is just everything. I love him in this role. He is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So get us through the rest of the cast here. Who's coming in for our lead roles?
Oh yeah, so obviously not a big shock to, again, if you're familiar with Vincent Price filmography, he is playing a dubious character of sorts. He plays our millionaire Frederick Lauren. I mean, guys, come on. He's been in Laura. He's been in Edward Scissorhands, Comedy of Terrors, Return of the Invisible Man, underrated by the way.
Coming at you.
The original Fly, The Pit and the Pendulum. I am obsessed if you could not already tell. Go through his entire filmography. You will not be disappointed. Personal opinion. Not biased at all. So I've got to be honest. It's one of those cases again where I don't just say this because like it's old school, but there really is not a huge film credit to most of the actors. However, we get kind of the home owner, who's Watson Pritchard, is played by Elijah Cook Jr. He's been in a ton of old school movies I've seen, like Rosemary's Baby, The Big Sleep, The Long Night, Salem's Lot. We also have a really fun little connection with Ruth Bridges being played by Julie Mitchum. And as soon as I saw her name, I'm like, possibly related to Robert Mitchum. Yes, that's his sister. And then just kind of rounding out our cast, we've got Nora Manning is kind of, I don't want to use the word final girl because she's kind of the opposite, but she is to an extent. Carolyn Craig, who is in Giant. If you've seen James Dean, thank God. I was like, that's a sad name I can't remember right now. And then just rounding out our last couple people, we've got Annabelle Lauren, who is Vincent Price's wife in this, is Carol, I'm going to say Omar and hope that I don't have that long. We've got Lance Schroeder, played by Richard Long. And lastly, rounding out kind of our big group of characters, we have Alan Marshall playing Dr. David Trent, who was apparently in like one of the earlier Hunchbacks of Notre Dame. So I haven't seen it though, so that's all I can deliver for him.
All right, and yeah, so kind of like equally on par, I would say the crew, there's some strengths in here, some weaknesses, and how the whole production came together. But this was directed by William Castle, went on to make 13 Ghosts, which is in our new future on the podcast, y'all. Stay tuned. Also coming along with 13 Ghosts, we have, this was written by Rob White. And, like technically speaking for the time, I think this was like a technically relatively sound film. Edited by Roy V. Livingston, cinematography coming from Carl Guthrie. And, they went on to do some TV, but, I think some of the like strength is lying a little more in the composition. By Von Dechter.
They took like bits of his composing and then like introduced him into these other huge films, which I always think is like super fucking cool that your legacy like lives on well after you've died, because I think he died in the 90s.
Right. Trick or Treat, Black Phone, Escape Room. So that's super rad. And let's say maybe like one of the weaker points of the film, the effects.
What are you talking about?
And Hermione Townsley. Look, all right. We'll get to it. All right. Y'all know. Y'all probably know, right? Look at the movie poster. I mean, we got some great stuff happening that's so fun. But the campiness of it, like, all right, come on. But talk to me, Taylor. Why do people love this movie? Why might people not love this movie? Where are we at?
I mean, it's an easy one to criticize in a lot of ways. Like, yes, it's very dated. I don't even think it probably was. I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine many audience. I'm sure plenty, but many audience members were like, this is terrifying. Like, it's not. It is hokey. It is campy. Obviously, with age, those things get worse, like, and not better, obviously. There's a lot of screaming from our final girl. Again, I say that so loosely in a way that by the end you're like, please, God, stop. No more of this. But for me, this is something I watch on the regular. This is like a comfort movie for me. It's so much fun. Vincent Price camps it so much that I'm obsessed. I think a lot of the dialogue is actually really fun, especially with him and Annabelle. I just am obsessed with every scene they have together. I think it's so good. And it's a short runtime, which honestly, I've said this before, but it is so nice to throw on a movie that's an hour and 15 minutes and you can just sit and have a good time and not have it be this emotionally draining 2-hour journey into a character. Like, sometimes I need something easy, and this is just fun and comfort food in a way for me. So what for you as somebody that's not seen it 100 times, what's your kind of pros and cons?
I think you really nailed it. It's the pros are that it is campy. It is a fun watch. This is what I plan on playing on the projector while I'm handing out, Halloween candy on Halloween. One that, you be the judge, but that the kids might be able to watch. You're going to scare them a little here and there, but it's kind of good fun. So I would say it's the strengths in the movie actually, like, as a cinematic experience, are coming through in the story. I actually thought it's a solid story,
it's not
right?
a bad story,
You have a lot of twists and turns and suspect motivations behind a lot of characters. You don't really know, like, exactly what's paranormal, what's not paranormal. So it's playing with a lot of fun things.
Cool
and
set.
Cool
set too.
Oh, the set's really fun, right? You're like in this like legitimately classic haunted house. I mean, it's literally this style's gone on to inspire a lot of films, first and foremost being the like renowned podcast Pod Under Your Bed. You might notice some of what we stole in our opening credits, right? I mean, we're fans, but other fans, including, I wouldn't really say 13 Ghosts because it's the last same crew, they're not ripping off of it because they're just going on to do things they've done. But The Haunting, and a variety of other movies have definitely stolen aspects of this movie. It's inspired so much in terms of like almost a what's the board game Clue?
Yes,
like
it is like that
type of characters
yeah.
in a haunted house that are forced to spend the night
strangers
together. Right?
Coming from different backgrounds. Oh my god, I never made that connection. I love that idea.
I mean, literally all that's missing is like Scooby-Doo running through the doorways of the halls, right?
Totally.
So it's just a lot of fun, and I recommend going to watch it. Outside of that, maybe the score is pretty decent. The sound effects pretty decent. Yeah. Everything else is pretty like par for the course, and kind of standard for the day, I would say.
Yeah, and again, it's got those hokey elements, obviously, for sure, but it is really fun to think about, like, when you see this, and it's kind of the idea of the strangers in a haunted house in its infancy, almost, and actually, for considering it that way, I'd say they accomplished quite a bit. There's some solid scares in there, some good use of space. They really utilize the set design quite well, I think, and that's a really iconic building in itself, so that's pretty cool. The characters have some really fun dynamics as well. So again, like, you can look at it on its surface and just be like, we can write it off. But I actually think there's a lot underneath there to work with and appreciate.
Yeah, and hopefully we can kind of pull some of those things out in our spoiler section of this episode. However, before we get there, we need our ratings. Taylor, out of 4 monsters under the bed, we'll start with scariness. How scary is this movie?
Oh boy. Okay, so I love it, but let's be honest, the fact that you're saying you can put it on a projector for Halloween, I think kind of tells you everything. It's not scary, guys. I mean, conceptually, there's some kind of interesting ideas that could maybe be scary, but let's be honest. Sure. I think we've decided it's unfair to give a 0 because somebody might find elements of this spooky. There's a few haunting images, and there again some good jump scares and gimmicks for the day that like actually still do okay. I'm being more than kind by giving it a 1, but I certainly could not give it any higher. How about for you?
Again, always erring higher than you somehow. I am giving this a solid 1. So, as the movie poster implies behind me here, you have some severed heads, you have some hanging, right? There's some graphic things, but the way they're shown aren't super excessive. And like I'm saying, especially because it's in black and white, there's a certain visceral quality that's missing, I suppose. So yes, we love the black and white. We bleed black and white, but at times it's just dated, right?
For sure.
And the effects even for the day are a bit campy, and for a specific reason actually, which we can dive into after. So overall rating for the movie, Taylor, out of 4 stars, send it.
Okay, let me be fully honest. I'll break it up into my personal and what it cinematically probably is. Personally, like I said, this is a comfort film. I love it so much. I am obsessed with Vincent Price, so this is not a hard sell for me. I could put this on the background any day, watch it. Some of the most iconic lines ever. I'm obsessed with this movie. In a personal, just loving way, it is a 4. But if I have to be a realistic human being here and I'm like recommending it to people, I think it's a solid 2. And I might even still being a little biased on that. I'm not sure how it holds up to the general public. But for me, I'm going to give it a 2 because I can't give it a 1. I love it so much. How about for you?
I'm gonna land out at 2 as well. I think it's a really fun movie. I actually do think it has some strengths. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, everything is, kind of done by the book. It doesn't break any barriers. It's very campy and fun. But at the end of the day, you're not coming back to watch it because you're enthralled by the cinematography, or you're going to learn something in the editing, or you're like, wow, the production design was so elaborate, I must dissect every scene, right? You're coming back to this because it's fun. And so that's where I land.
I think it's more than fair.
Taylor, this is your movie. Last thoughts for those that have not seen it yet.
I highly recommend it, and I have to say I am a purist in recommending it in black and white. You can find it, there was some copyright domain issues, meaning it's pretty much accessible anywhere. Anybody has the opportunity to see it. I highly recommend watching it in a group and just having a couple laughs and having a good time with it. Finding a drinking game that goes with it. I think you will definitely enjoy it. It's a short hour and 15-minute runtime. You're not committing to anything. It's not emotionally draining in any way. It's just fun. And if you do it in color, I think you're kind of missing out. I think it kind of actually makes the stuff look worse that's already dated. Yeah. So I highly recommend just going with the original style, the way they filmed it, what they wanted to do with it. Obviously, it was probably for money purposes that it was in black and white, but we're going to ignore that. But give it a go. It's just easy and it's a fun time. I'm not saying it's going to be a cinematic revelation, but you're going to enjoy yourself. So why not? I guess that's my feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, even though this isn't cinematic excellence, we still have a lot to say about this movie, so stick around for the deep dive critique.
Welcome to the podcast Under Your Bed. there'll be drinks, critique, and perhaps a few murders. You're all invited, but once the podcast has begun, there's no way out. The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me for the podcast under your bed?
Oh,
if you've seen it, you get it, I guess. I don't know.
oh my God, hang on.
I'm with you.
Throat lubrication.
I have a solution to all the campy acting.
Oh my God. Wow, that took it out of me.
That is the new old-fashioned cocktail by Deadpool Cocktails. I feel like I'm actually ready for a Dos Equis commercial or something.
You kind of look like it today. I like it.
Yeah, kind of digging it.
I had to go Price shirt, but you know.
Yeah, feel it. Anyways, yeah, this movie is a lot of fun. But before we get there, we got a really delicious cocktail. This is really my speed.
Yes, it is.
Maybe not so much.
Whiskey.
It's the Vincent Price's new old fashioned by Deadpool Cocktails. And hey, shout out! This was from some folks that super support us online. So you give a little, we give a little. We like our community out there.
Oh yeah,
it's
Deadpool Cocktails for the win. Always a big supporter. We appreciate, and also some dope fucking cocktails. So if you've not checked out that account on YouTube, on Instagram, he's got all kinds of stuff. Does horror movies during October. Has covered tons of game content. So if you're looking for something really cool and interesting, I highly recommend. He also does shots and full-on cocktails, so there's a nice mix too.
Absolutely. So, this is a fairly classic old-fashioned. Got our bitters, got some sugar, got the whiskey, saw high ends, which recommended something Canadian, send it in. And a splash of club soda is a good touch. The lemon twist is in there.
My twist looks terrible, but yeah, I tried my best. It didn't go well.
It's delicious. I couldn't find the cherry, but I will almost always order an old fashioned. Every other fun night out. So
oh my God,
that's one of my go-tos.
Well, I'm glad. How does this compare then? I'm curious because this is the new old fashioned. How does this compare? As someone who's not a big whiskey drinker, how does this compare to an old fashioned?
I would say this is, whiskey is a little sweet, and old fashions tend to get a little sweeter, syrupy sometimes if it's a bad one. And I would say that this doesn't have that. It's pretty refreshing as they go. It's an easy drink in old fashioned, but it still has all the classic elements. So it's hitting the spot for me on this Friday evening on coming into October here.
Yeah.
Taylor, yep. This is you. It's an hour, 15-minute movie. Our spoiler summary is not too bad. So come on, send it, girl. What we got?
All right. So we open on the floating head of homeowner Watson Pritchard, who lets us know that the property has claimed the lives of 7 individuals, including that of his brother. We then cut to another floating head of millionaire Frederick Lauren, a.k.a. Vincent Price and clearly the love of my life, who states that he is, and despite dying when I was 6, doesn't matter, who states that he has invited a random group of individuals to the house on Haunted Hill for his wife's birthday. He states that the group has been offered $10,000 if they successfully spend the entire night in the home.
Per person.
Yeah, that's some good money back in the day. That's pretty solid. The group of invitees includes Lance Schroeder, a test pilot, Ruth Bridges, a columnist with a gambling problem, Watson Pritchard, as we noted, David Trent, a psychiatrist working on hysteria, and Nora Manning, a worker of Lauren's who supports her entire family. Essentially, these are all individuals in dire need of some quick cash. The group of strangers arrives.
Feel that.
Yeah. The group of strangers arrive, and you know what? Fuck it. $10,000, I'd do pretty much anything at this point. Pay off some of those student loans. The group of strangers arrives and gets to introductions, quickly realizing that they don't know the party's hosts, or for that matter, each other. Immediately, trouble is afoot as Nora is almost crushed by a falling chandelier. Oh no, one of 1,800 screams at this point. Frederick and his wife Annabelle discuss the upcoming festivities, and it's clear that they are not in the most loving relationship within this short conversation, allegations of cheating and attempted murder. That's
like all relationships.
Yeah, like all of them. Frederick joins the ghosts for a ghost/murder tour of the home, which includes a conveniently located vat of acid in the basement. Because that
you don't have one, I have one.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's got a vat
I'm
of
pretty
acid.
jealous. I wanted a pool, but I guess like a vat of acid's cool too.
That's good.
Right. They learned that the previous tenant killed his wife by throwing her in it because she didn't like his homemade wine, and that's just enough said.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think that's
Shit
fair.
tastes like feet.
Yeah. Nora and Lance elect to further explore, but they are quickly separated, resulting in Lance being knocked out and Nora seeing a ghastly figure. After another ghostly incident, Nora meets Annabelle Lauren, who gives her a warning that everyone at the party is in danger. I know, danger, girl, danger. Annabelle proceeds to ask Lance for help, indicating that Frederick is up to something. Something like murder. That was not my best Keith Morrison, but
that was pretty good.
I'll get there someday.
Yeah. Murder.
Oh, was it? The group retreats to their rooms where Nora finds a severed head. Nora understandably tries to nope the fuck out of there, but finds herself locked in for the evening per agreement of the $10,000. Each member is then Each member is then given a party favor of, as you would expect, a gun.
I hand it out to all my kids' birthday parties.
I mean, you are in the South, to be fair.
Texas.
Yeah. Oh my God. The group proceeds to investigate Nora's claim of the decapitated head, but find it missing, leading Trent to claim hysteria. I'm going to say that every time, which causes Nora to storm off. Lance eventually finds the head, but Nora missing, and shortly after finds Annabelle dead, who has been hung on the stairway. Hung? That's right. Hanged? Hung? No, hung is right.
Hunged.
One of those. Nora locates Lynch shortly after and tells him someone whom she believes is Frederick tried to choke and kill her. Lance proceeds to give Nora a gun, why I don't know, and tells her to hide. Due to looming suspicions about Annabelle's murder, the group decide the best course of action is to go to bed and hold up in their individual rooms, assuming that the killer would be the only one to leave. This is clearly not true as the plan breaks down almost immediately because like right away.
Like in no time.
Right
with
away.
Everybody for no reason.
Nora sees Annabelle's ghost and flees. Dr. Trent and Frederick also abandon ship by seeking out the source of some mysterious sounds, which send Trent down the hall and Frederick downstairs. Trent comes across Annabelle's body, and then we get the big reveal. She is not dead. In fact, the two are lovers and have conducted a plan. Concocted was the word I used, just kidding. A plan in which Nora will kill Frederick out of suspicion, fear, and hysteria. Annabelle then sends Trent to the cellar to ensure the success of the plan. Nora, meanwhile, because again, not the best final girl, does as anticipated and shoots Frederick as soon as she sees him.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, there's no looming threat, but she just shoots him. It's fine. Trent finds his body and attempts to dispose of it in the vat of acid, but the lights mysteriously cut out and we hear a scream. After a bit, Annabelle goes to check on Trent, but is attacked by a skeleton and the disembodied voice of Frederick, the fear and panic of which cause her to fall in the vat of acid. All is then revealed in its entirety. Frederick is alive. Turns out that he's known all along about the affair and / murder plot. He therefore devised his own plan and loaded Nora's gun with blanks. Very wise, clearly.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't bet on her being hysterical, but apparently that was legit. He then defends himself by killing Trent and quote unquote witnessed Annabelle's accidental fall, that he had nothing to do with.
Yeah, that was definitely the most sus moment.
Yeah, no, it was a total accident. Pritchard surmises that there are more ghosts in the house now and that they will likely come for him next. And then for you. And that is the end of House on Haunted Hill, the OG.
All right. Love it.
Had
now,
too much fun.
in Nora's defense for shooting Vince Price, and I am always going to refer to him as Vincent Price. I'm not going to refer to him as Frederick. Sorry.
Here for it.
Sir Price.
Sir Price.
He, in Nora's defense, though, it was dark. Who knows? The candles got blown out. That's spooky. Have you been in a basement and the candle's been blown out?
To be fair, I don't usually have a loaded gun in my hand, but, I guess maybe.
But you grab a candlestick
and
whack him in the head. Anyways, all right. Story. I think it's one of the strengths in this.
Totally,
it's why we come back in maybe some ways, besides the campiness. Are you liking the story? Were you happy about it? What gets you excited? What's a letdown for you?
Honestly, the only part of the story where I'm like, oh my God, is where she thinks that the caretaker who's like this blind elderly woman is a ghost. And I was like, oh girl, that's not a good look.
That's not okay.
It's not okay.
I mean, grandma's old, but dang, she ain't dead.
Yeah, I'm like, leave her be. To be fair, she's literally skulking around the place so I don't know, maybe it's justified. But no, in all honesty, I think the story's really solid. Like you mentioned kind of in the intro, it's clearly gone on to inspire so many things, and they kind of took that concept and ran with it in different directions. The haunting being a very elevated version of this idea, but the idea of getting strangers in a spooky setting that they don't know, and then there's this kind of mystery piece to it, a la Clue, like you said. It's just a really fun idea. Do I think every character is super fleshed out or whatever? No, of course not. But I think the ones that do deliver so well, they almost supplement for the lack of others. And I don't know in this runtime that you really could have explored every character in depth to get a full story. I just think it's a little too short for that. But it's fun. I think it's a really fun story.
Yeah, I agree. I think it kind of, I would say, has established what might be the stereotypical characters, like the rich old lady, the dashing young gentleman, the hysteric beautiful girl. There's lots of the eccentric millionaire,
the prototypes they're
the prototypes, right, for what's gone on to become stereotypical. Maybe at this point in time, obviously Shakespeare was hundreds of years ago, so some of these characters might have already been stereotypical.
Sure.
What I do really enjoy about the story is at the end of the day, there's actually nothing that's haunting the house, which is a really big twist. And there's a lot of back and forth of who done it sort of thing, who actually is going to die, who is the murderer. So I had a lot of fun watching and being along that little roller coaster. I thought it was pretty strong in terms of story.
Oh yeah, actually I was gonna ask, so as somebody who hasn't seen this again 100 times, were you surprised by any of the reveals? Did you see it coming in a big way? I think the first time I saw it, I was genuinely oh, but I don't quite remember. It's been too long, so I'm curious what you thought.
All right, just because there was so much attention to Annabelle being brought to the bed and we kept coming back to her.
Sure.
I was like, this chick's alive, yo. She ain't dead. So that felt a little obvious,
sure.
maybe. and just love the like just absurdity of like marionetting a skeleton into a vat of, you know, Annabelle falling backwards into this vat of acid.
God,
It's
yes.
just, that is cinematic genius. I can't explain it any other way.
No.
So
No.
that's a win. That is a win.
It's a total win. And I love that she like slowly backs up too. It's not just like she tripped and fell. It's like this like scream punctuated by a step, scream punctuated by another step. Like it's this lengthy process to actually get her to die. I kind of love it.
That probably took like a whole minute,
know,
right?
yes.
Just like, and obviously it would. Like, you try working a marionette skeleton across the room, yo. I mean, come on, it's gonna take a little time. I love that you can also like clearly see the strings.
I mean,
like,
what are you talking about? There's such good
There's no
editing
screen.
there. Yeah.
I would love to know though how Annabelle and Dr. Trent rigged the rope to like navigate itself through the bars around the feet. They had some technology that we are still trying to figure out here at the U.S. government agencies. Like,
Spot on though, honestly. So it's like, okay, she gets fake hung and we get the rationale where she's like the hanging harness and you go, well, that seems weird, but sure, like I'll let that go. He checked the pulse or whatever.
That's
so
how they do it in the movies.
Yeah.
It's a legit way to fake a death.
That's
all
fine.
right?
My question is, how is she on the outside of the window that I assume is not on the first floor? And then, like you said, there's this rope, and I actually love like the ghostly. It's creepy that you got that weird like woo, like vocals going on. I kind of dig it, but the whole time I was like, well, if there's not anything ghostly happening, how the hell is that happening? So I am very glad you brought that up because that has haunted me for still now.
I love it. So here's my like interpretation of the movie. It is the paranormal activity of the day. And I mean, is that and no? Okay, now hear me out. I agree. We hate paranormal activity.
Yes.
However, where I'm drawing the analogy here, the similarities are more for that it's intentional like playfulness. And it's like marketing sticks in order to like scare the audience, and mostly like the marketing side of this.
That
like,
I can see.
So
that I could see.
You know, like literally, like opening. My first note, I was like, this is great. Like the movie's not just opening with this like slow car processional with opening credits. They start off with pitch black screams and chains. You know, that is a great idea.
And
that is a
just
novel idea.
Whoa.
Yes.
You know.
And this like and again, like there's an inspiration. Like Twilight has done this like head, you know, the Twilight Zone series has done this like floating head thing. Which is also a great moment that we got to come back to and discuss. But then again, like in the screenings of the movie, they're literally flying a skeleton over the audience. You know, it just reminds me of like filming the audience during the screenings at Paranormal Activity, right? Like very similar, like cheesy hokiness that's just fun. And at the end of the day, that's why you go to see it, so that you're just laughing and scaring your friends and they're scaring you, and it's just silliness, right?
It's so crazy to think of this in a way as like jump scares, but it really was. And it's so subtle for us now, but like audiences were not used to like shit popping out of the blackness. Like that was not something that was done. Or even when, again, the blind caretaker comes out like in that weird frozen pose, and I swear it was Eli Roth that compared it to, it seems like she's on a skateboard being pulled off, is how he phrased it.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
It's just like, it's so fun though, and it's so entertaining, and I imagine that at the time, like you said, it would have been really shocking and very abrupt and very gimmicky, which was so much of Castle's whole shtick, like doing the glasses for 13 Ghosts. And I think there was like a little vibration for the Tingler, which also is Vincent Price. And I kind of wish that we had some more of that today, because what a fucking fun thing to do in terms of a marketing stance. I wish we still did shit like that.
That's great. I mean, I think where you get some of that, again, like Paranormal Activity, like this is found footage, like the found footage sort of style might be some of that lingering quality. But yeah, the like gimmicks of like practical effects in a movie theater kind of have gone by the way,
Yeah.
and which, you know, is a sad thing. This was 4D cinema before 4D cinema was a thing.
Yes, yes.
You have it at the theme parks now, but you got to pay a $300 entry fee for that shit these days. You know, which I think kind of brings up the effects going on in this movie, right? The special effects, like, they're not like horrifying effects. They're not spectacular for a reason. What's going on? What's fun about them?
Well, I do think like knowing that it was a real skeleton is actually way creepier than anything else. This is much of like, I swear they were doing this up until the 90s even, because Poltergeist was the same thing. It was real skeletons.
How did I miss this?
Yeah, because it's
in the trivia.
How also is it cheaper than making something? I have no clue. I find that deeply upsetting.
Well, they got dead bodies just hanging out at the graveyard. You can dig up anytime you want.
Yeah,
you know, like,
so that part is pretty creepy in the real way. I think in terms of like actual,
did the skeleton get it? Well, I know the skeleton was credited as skeleton, but I feel like that person should have had an actual credit.
Right. I would like that if that was me.
I'd be rolling in my grave. That is amazing.
Yeah, so that's obviously, that actually adds a little bit of fuel to it being actually creepy, knowing that it's real, though. I swear it just was like of the day, like, yeah, of course you're going to use this dead person's body for a hokey gimmick.
Who gives a shit?
Sure, why not? Honestly, even like the severed head is not terrible by any means, but like you said, I think it being black and white does date it even a little bit more than maybe it was. Actually, you know what? I take that back. It probably is helping it. If that was in color, I don't know what that would look like. I completely roll back on what I said. In terms of other effects, I think really what their best use of space is more than anything, and that is more of a cinematography thing, making it feel like claustrophobic at times, and like there's these empty spaceways and you're like, what could be there? And like you said, there's this very big question of, is it supernatural, is it people? Either way, the threat feels kind of real and imminent, but in terms of effect wise, there's not a ton going on. I mean, what was your kind of takeaway / maybe moving into that cinematography element of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think some of the effects that weren't landing are like the vat of acid. You have these like sort of bad,
right.
You have these bad jump takes where it's like someone falls into what's water, and then they do some
the bones come up
like
immediately,
dry ice or something, some like really bad plastic like fake rat sort of thing, you know, like floating in the water with dry ice, and there's this like very obvious jump cut in the middle of it. You know, so obviously not like the cleanest edit or the cleanest effect. The hanging I actually thought was you know, a little like graphic. Like that's intense. I mean, actually I want to say graphic, but just intense, because you don't see like the noose around neck, but you just see the legs hanging down.
More effective.
But it's still so suggestive that it is intense. You know, so I think some of the really hokey elements were like the monster arm from around the wall. I was like, where is this? What is this now? Now there's monsters.
Forgot, and you're so right. It is awful looking, which I think is supposed to be the psychiatrist, which kind of then makes sense. But
when in retrospect, all the bad effects make sense, because it's, you know, this, you know, these lovers that are just faking it to create hysteria. Got it. But the other one is like the organ playing, right? Like it's just so cheap, so classic. Like you can't even be mad at it, because they're like, fuck it, we're doing it. Like, you know, like I almost want to go that far with it, but so it's just pretty fun. But all the effects, like we're saying, they come full circle with the just being a elemental part of the story. Now, to your point, the moments that were perhaps scariest were motivated by the camera and the edit, which the jump scares, like the old woman in the cellar, the kind of like looming suspense of the candles blowing out around the room.
Oh, I do
those
like
great
that.
ones. I don't think we needed it 3 or 4 times, however many times it happens, right?
At least twice.
Yeah.
Loses the luster at point 2, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so and I agree. I hadn't really considered till you brought it up. The camera like making moments feel claustrophobic, like trapped. You have nowhere to go, or like someone going through a doorway into another room. The camera is staying in the room that it started, so you don't know what's happening on the other side of the wall, other side of the door. Those were, fairly effective, and made for a fun experience. Cinematography didn't go beyond that, though, right?
No, I think like you said, they utilized it well when it needed to be done. I think especially in the cellar is where you're probably seeing the best of that done compared to other scenes. And actually, like when you said effects, I was like, well, it's just this too. And then you brought up like 5 extra things. So I'm like, oh shit, yeah, there actually is like more than I just kind of gloss over, I guess. So that's really funny to hear.
A fun one to throw in there was also in the opening scene when they're like standing on what I think is supposed to be like a balcony, and you see the city lights and traffic. Like that's a nice little camera trick with like pulling some sort of like system of like cars moving down below, where all you see are these like blurry lights in the background. I thought that was effective for the time.
Oh yeah. It made me think of like a play almost in a way, like where there's this kind of weird blocking going on where they're all like
perspective
kind of passing each other, but no one's like looking at each other. And there's this very dramatic music about it. But I actually kind of dug it in a weird way where there was a part of me thinking like this shouldn't work, but something about this is kind of setting a mood and tone that I enjoy.
Yes. Yeah, that stage-like quality, for the time, like obviously it's this like period in cinema, or it's early in cinema where it's transitioning off the stage onto the screen. So a lot of that plays out, and I think you see it a lot in the camera movement, the blocking of the action, and the editing.
And dialogue too, yeah.
And especially the dialogue. But where I think one of the strengths actually lied was in the editing. I thought, they always talk of like editing is in a way is like a dance of eyes. You're following the movement of people's eyes, and that motivates the cut to see what they're looking at. And they're you can really build like a lot of tension by like who people are looking at in the scene, like, and seeing their reactions. What do they think of that person's like dialogue, and I thought this was pretty effective at that. To me, it was like the stage elevated, and camera again was like only motivated by the blocking, the movement of the actors. We only were panning when people were moving through a space. We were going up to a high wide shot when a chandelier was going to crash down. We were dialing back as the actors were walking through the hallway. So it created like a very formulaic style that people are able to build from. But of course, it didn't like go anywhere beyond.
No, but to touch on that, like I think you said, the camera really follows the actors in this very stage-like quality. And I think a huge part of that is not only that I genuinely do think every actor did a great job in the role they were given and followed it exactly as they should do, but I think the dialogue is actually super strong in this movie. I especially think when you get Vincent Price and Annabelle talking. I think that is some of my favorite dialogue.
It's fantastic.
Their whole initial conversation, I could just put on repeat and listen to like ASMR. Like, I am obsessed with that entire interaction and the way that they deliver it. They give you so much personality in such a short period of time that I don't know if it's just great acting, if it's just great dialogue, but I am obsessed with the two of them, especially. I think their dynamic is awesome.
Yes, that was what drew me into the film for sure, right off the bat. And then what kept me going was some of the cat and mouse play. One of my favorite lines I wrote down: "Don't let the ghost and ghouls disturb you, darling. The only ghouls in the house are you."
Yes,
That's
yes, I love that line.
That stuff is great. Like, just keep feeding me, please.
Oh yeah, and they're like, what was it? She's like, oh, they thought you were poisoned or whatever. And he's like, yes, arsenic on the rocks. Like, it's just
Arsenic on the rocks.
so good. And it's like, yes, there are a lot of like campy elements to it, but also you're just totally invested, and I could watch the two of them. You feel like you've gotten the entirety of their relationship timeline in this very short thing of dialogue.
Yeah.
Wild that they have managed to accomplish that in such a short span. And I completely know who these guys are. I know what their dynamic is. It's very impressive, actually. I think that's a super strong point of this movie.
So this is a bit of a transition, but I feel like we have to touch on the opening, not just beyond just that like cold black opening with the sound effects.
Our heads.
But yes, like, so it's such a unique way to open a movie with this, the floating heads and opening narration that's very expositional, and set against this backdrop of the mansion. It's so iconic. When people think of House on Haunted Hill, that's the first image that comes to mind.
For sure, yeah.
So, I mean, what about it made it iconic? Why is it interesting and unique and different?
Well, I do think they picked probably the two best actors, in my opinion, to like draw you in immediately. Like Elijah Cook Jr., he might not have the biggest role in this, but I fully believe him the entire time that he's in it. He's this kind of war-torn looking guy that's experienced some trauma in the house, and you get this, like, he's completely off-put from the beginning, contrary to, like, I love Chris Kattan on SNL, but that was not a great choice, in my opinion, for a remake. I think he sells it with his eyes. His eyes are super distinctive. He's got a very distinctive look and a cadence about his voice that just, you're invested in what he's saying immediately.
Yeah,
and then you pivot right to the most charismatic person of the bunch, which is Vincent Price. And actually, I will give him credit on the remake. They did do Jeffrey Rush, did a great job. However, it feels like he was just doing Vincent Price, but a less Vincent Price version. So,
right, you can never duplicate. You gotta be your own thing.
You can't. Though we give massive credit to our guy who does our intro, that he did his best Vincent Price, and I do respect him for that. But yeah, nobody can be Vincent Price, obviously. But I think that's just a really fun opening. And again, you're picking your most charismatic actors to come in and give you it is an exposition dump, but it doesn't feel like it. And I think that's really important. What was your kind of like takeaway from the intro?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I agree. I thought it was a really strong style choice, right? That's
Floating
a bold
heads.
way. That's bold. But I can't imagine any other film that could get away with this. It's just the campiness quality of the rest of the movie that allows it, that enables it. I think to your point with the acting, like, I didn't rewatch it, but at the end I was like, I don't think either of them blinked one time. They're so
shit. I think you're right, actually.
I'm 99% sure of it.
If not, it's very minimal. If not.
And these are long takes. It's like a minute of exposition, both, at least. I mean, at least, right? And I was like, you are captivated, Watson's like sweaty and like just so intense, and then
She's got these kind of
Price
like
is so
not even
charismatic.
eyes too while he's delivering it. There's this kind of like wild eye look to him where
Yes,
you're like,
yes,
whoa.
wild-eyed. Yeah, and I want to be fair to Watson. Price was all, he's drunk, he doesn't know what's happening. I thought he held his liquor quite well.
He did. For someone that was throwing him back, I actually think he did a great job. Plus, I gotta give Robert Mitchum's sister massive credit because she was the first one to be like, when are we gonna get our drink on? I was like, this girl gets it. I respect it.
Yeah,
actually,
it's not a dinner party until the drink's flowing.
Yeah, this is honestly one of the rarer cases where would eventually end up being the final girl and final guy, essentially, even though I know we only had 2 people die in this movie, there's a lot more survivors. But where they're probably the weakest link out of all of the characters, they have the least dynamics about them, in my opinion, even though they try to give Nora this like story of like, oh my God, actually, sorry. This is one of my favorite parts. I will never get over this. She's like, oh, my family was in a car accident and I'm the only one who can take care of them. And then he's like, let's go into this other room. He like does not even comment on this massive tragedy.
Yeah, whatever. How do I get in your pants?
Just moves it on. Just moves it right along, which it always makes me laugh. I will never get over that where I'm like, I thought you were like trying to get in here. Like maybe you should ask her a follow-up question or just an empathetic statement of any kind would be a good move. But no, he's a test pilot. He doesn't need to.
I never want to condone poor sexist like tropes in movies, but given the time of this movie, they probably could have gone way farther with some of this, and it might have been like a little toned back, but there was some very clear the man's always standing over the woman and the woman's hysteric, and obviously there's a motivation behind the doctor like calling her that, but. So there was just some of that old school sexist stuff.
Which I could have sworn was done by the 60s, but maybe my DSM timeline is wrong here. But I swear hysteria was like in the 1800s or something. Whereas what? What? Is this still being brought up in the 60s? Hysteric. Sir.
But for a campy horror film, I mean, that's like a very fun thing to play off of. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty funny, actually. I think we ought to try a modern version. That sounds great.
Did you not?
She's hysteric.
Oh my God. The new, and I say new loosely because it was the early 2000s where there was just a myriad of remakes at that time.
Fuck the next gen. That's new.
Oh my God. But man, that remake, it just was so first off, what I love about, to your point of you can't redo that intro is that they didn't, which was probably a good choice. They went a very different route with it. But you just, even with all the modern technology and some very decent casting, you can't replicate this somehow, even though it isn't a great film. That remake to me showed me you can't do it that way. If you're going to redo it, you've got to figure out a different avenue to go because they tried to stick a little too close to this, but also adding in the shitty 2000s editing style and all that crap.
That was a bad time.
It wasn't
early CGI.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And again, I think you can't replicate some of the charisma that comes out of this too, and it just the sense that you get of this. Yeah, but it is. Even though again, it is a hokey movie, but it is really funny to see that try to replicate in the 2000s and see it not succeed. It's kind of interesting. It feels like a concept that you should be able to build on and do something better with in a way, but I've yet to see it.
Yeah, so somebody give it to us, please and thank you. Taylor, I just thought this was such a fun watch. Like I said, I'm playing this during Halloween this year on the projector outside. I think it's just a great idea. I'm sure it'll piss off a couple neighbors, whatever, fuck them. But at the end of the day, yeah, looking forward to, rewatching this every year.
It's honest, like I said, guys, to me, it's a total comfort film. I think, like you said, there's a few bits that could maybe get mildly dicey with like a younger audience, but overall, I think you can overlook the two things. And based on what my niece and nephew even watched today, I think they're going to be just fine checking it out. But it's just a good time, and it's so much fun to watch a movie and just enjoy it. And even though we dissected the shit out of it, like, it is something you don't have to dissect. You can or you can't. Yeah. And that's awesome. It's so nice to be like, there are nuances within this. There are cool editing techniques, but also you can just take it at face value and have a good time. And you can't say that about a shitload of stuff. So I just appreciate movies of this era having this campiness, but somehow still standing the test of time. And I think a huge element of that is great acting and great dialogue with some fun bits of editing and campiness to it.
Yes. So hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did.
Love this movie.
Happy October.
We're at the start. Yes.
Have a packed October coming for you, as always, one after the other. So we hope your October's as spooky as ours, and keep coming back and let us know what episodes you want to hear, what movies we should dissect.
That is right. We have our October schedule already set, but then we are back open to suggestions. And next week, I mean, how could this get any better? We get Friday the 13th in October, which is
that's legit.
The best thing ever. Now, look, we had to be slightly purists on this. We debated the idea of a Friday the 13th, but it just feels wrong in October. So coming at you next week, kind of on par with what we've been covering, I would say today, we are giving you now, how would you even say this? Because if you read it as they wrote it, it would be like 13 Ghosts via the 2000s remake. It is not just 13 Ghosts. They did a THIR 13EN.
13. I don't know. You're right.
Yeah,
they're trying too hard. Trying way too hard.
Yeah, so if you were...
like maybe the rest of the movie?
Oh, 100%. So if you guys are also looking for a very cool set design film that doesn't quite live up to expectations, with ideas that almost get there but not quite, and have a horrific 2000s editing value, please check out the film before we cover it next week, because it is going to be, I anticipate, a really good episode.
Happy Halloween, y'all.
You got Skeleton making a cameo.
Well, he's got to come in sometime. He can't connect with me the whole time. Hey, Bob. It's Bob. What up, y'all? Thanks for coming back, y'all. We'll see you next time on the podcast Under Your Bed.
See you on Friday the 13th.
Love it.
Okay, that was fun.